നമസ്കാരം. എല്ലാ മാന്യ പ്രേക്ഷകർക്കും വോയിസ് ഓഫ് ട്രൂത്തിന്റെ പ്രോഗ്രാമിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. എറണാകുളം വിമതരുടെയും ലോഹ തൊഴിലാളികളുടെയും നുണപ്രചരണത്തെ 8 നിലയിൽ പൊട്ടിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് വത്തിക്കാൻ മീഡിയ ഇതാ രംഗത്തെത്തിയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. മാർപ്പാപ്പയുടെ വാക്കുകളെയും വത്തിക്കാന്റെ ഡോക്യുമെന്റുകളെയും തെറ്റായ രീതിയിൽ വ്യാഖ്യാനിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് സോഷ്യൽ മീഡിയയിൽ അഴിഞ്ഞാടിയ എറണാകുളത്തെ വൈദിക തൊഴിലാളികളുടെയും വിമത കോമരങ്ങളുടെയും മുഖമടച്ചുള്ള അടിയായി മാറിയിരിക്കുകയാണ് വത്തിക്കാൻ മീഡിയയുടെ ഈ ന്യൂസ് ബുള്ളറ്റിൻ. ഇതിൽ പ്രത്യേകം എടുത്തു പറയേണ്ട കാര്യം, ഏകീകൃത കുർബാന പ്രശ്നത്തിൽ എറണാകുളത്ത് അരങ്ങേറിയ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും അക്കമിട്ട് നിർത്തിക്കൊണ്ടാണ് ന്യൂസ് ബുള്ളറ്റിൻ ഇറങ്ങിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. അത് മാർ സിറിൽ വാസലിനെ കുപ്പികൊണ്ട് എറിഞ്ഞ കാര്യമാണെങ്കിലും മുണ്ടാടനും തളിയനും കൂടി മാർ സിറിൽ വാസലിനെ തടഞ്ഞു നിർത്തി ഭീഷണിപ്പെടുത്തിയ കാര്യമാണെങ്കിലും എറണാകുളം ബസിലിക്കയിൽ 33 വൈദികർ നടത്തിയ 16 മണിക്കൂർ മാരത്തോൺ സാത്താൻ കുർബാനയാണെങ്കിലും എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും കൃത്യമായിട്ട് അക്കമിട്ട് നിരത്തിയാണ് വത്തിക്കാൻ ന്യൂസ് പുറത്തു വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. വിമതർക്കെതിരെ നടപടി എടുത്തില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാർ പുത്തൂരും മാർ റാഫേൽ തട്ടിലും അധികാര സ്ഥാനം ഒഴിഞ്ഞ് പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകേണ്ടി വരും എന്നുള്ള കൃത്യമായ സൂചനയാണ് ഈ ന്യൂസ് ബുള്ളറ്റിനിൽ നമുക്ക് കേൾക്കുവാൻ സാധിച്ചത്. നമുക്ക് ആ വാർത്ത നേരിട്ട് കേൾക്കാം.
Good afternoon, listeners. Today, on May 14th, 2024, this is Lucas reporting from Rome on a significant event in the life of the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church. Yesterday morning, Pope Francis met with Major Archbishop Raphael Tatil, the head of the Syro-Malabar Catholic Church, and other archbishops of the Permanent Synod. We provided updates on this yesterday, and Vatican News has published the details. Addressing the ongoing liturgical controversy, the Pope mentioned that his recent letters and video messages to the faithful warned them of the dangerous temptation to focus on a single detail. However, the priests and their supporters took this lightly. The papal delegate sent by His Holiness faced mistreatment, including having bottles thrown at him at St. Mary's Basilica, the cathedral of the major archbishop. The protest was organized by dissident priest leaders. Furthermore, papal delegate Archbishop Cyril was threatened and intimidated by 2 dissident priest leaders, Frater Kyriakos and Frater Sebastian, during a synod meeting at St. Thomas Mount, Kakanad. For this reason, Pope Francis stressed yesterday, guarding unity is not a pious exhortation but a duty, showing a grave lack of respect for the Blessed Sacrament by arguing about the details of how to celebrate the Eucharist and objecting to the decisions of the synod and the endorsement of the Holy See is incompatible with the Christian faith and creates schism. His Holiness emphasized 3 important points to the major archbishop and the permanent synod members. Firstly, there is a lack of appropriate steps to address this indiscipline, even after repeated warnings from Rome. Secondly, there is a lack of responsibility, which is a grave mistake. Thirdly, the synod has failed to show the evangelical courage required from shepherds to save the flock. Therefore, Pope Francis explicitly declared that the sui juris Syro-Malabar church hierarchy is not to be superseded by the Pope. Instead, the major archbishop and the synod are empowered to take appropriate steps to examine and tackle the situation because it is a sui juris church. In fact, through these statements, His Holiness was expressing his dissatisfaction and discontent with the major archbishop and synod members. In the private audience, His Holiness asked Major Archbishop Raphael Tatil and the permanent synod members not to delay the process of taking appropriate actions against the dissident priests who continue to defy the directives of the Holy See regarding the celebration of the unified Holy Mass. Major Archbishop Tatil was given the action plan prepared by the Eastern Congregation in January 2024 itself, after his appointment as the head of the Syro-Malabar Church. But he asked for an extension for his work until May 31st. Had the action been taken timely and appropriately by the former apostolic administrator, Archbishop Andrews, the situation in the archiparchy would have been much better. From May 14 onward, the major archbishop and the permanent synod members, along with the apostolic administrator, Bishop Bosco, are meeting with different dicastery heads. Their meeting with Cardinal Parolin, the Secretary of State, is a crucial one. The State Secretary, Cardinal Parolin, in consultation with the papal delegate Archbishop Cyril Vasile, will be briefing on the immediate actions to be implemented at Ernakulam. The aim is to enforce the synodal form of Holy Mass and the penal actions against the dissident priest leaders who continue to refuse the directives of the Holy See. The major archbishop is also meeting with the prefect of the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith. It was in the Cathedral Basilica of the Major Archbishop that the Eucharist was abused and simulated for 16 hours by over 33 priests under the guidance of the dissident priest leaders and former Major Seminary Rector Antony Ernakulam, the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, which is responsible for taking action against such abuse of the Eucharist, had already appointed a commission and found the guilty priests. That commission, led by Archbishop Susai Pakiam, recommended strict penal action against the priests, which the current major archbishop has kept in abeyance, a serious delict on the part of the synod and the major archbishop. Therefore, the major archbishop will have to explain this to Cardinal Parolin and the prefect of the dicastery for the doctrine of the faith. Furthermore, Cardinal Claudio Gujarati, the prefect of the Eastern Congregation, has extensively studied the issues, and he is very strict in not delaying any actions further. The dissidents would have to be suspended or dismissed, regardless of their number and unity. Many lay faithful have already filed cases for licit Holy Mass, and the judgment in some cases has already been declared, asking the priests to celebrate Holy Mass according to Holy See directives and Syro-Malabar Synod decisions, which they have rejected, and hence face contempt of court. Nearly 100 churches in the Archdiocese have approached the court of law, and the Vatican sees this very seriously. Any lapse on the part of the major archbishop and the apostolic administrator would result in their ousting by the Vatican. The lay faithful are very adamant about implementing the synodal form of licit Holy Mass in all churches in the Archdiocese of Ernakulam, and any contrary actions will not be permitted following the latest directives from the Pope on May 13, 2024. The synod and the major archbishop would face serious consequences if they deliberately delay further, and the lay faithful in different organizations are planning massive protests at the major archiepiscopal curia at Kakanad. This is Lucas from the Vatican desk, reporting on the momentous developments in the Syro-Malabar Church. Stay tuned for further updates.